Welcome everyone and bless you. It's our last morning together, and if today is anything like the last 2 days, I know we'll all go away enlightened and that the strength and love we have for each other will have been tripled. Yesterday we heard life stories which touch the heart. How cruel people can be when confronted by difference. And all the more when that cruelty strikes us in the name of religion. If that's religion, keep it. We don't know you. We're sick and tired of your infantile biblical literalism. We're sick and tired of hearing that we're an abomination to God, that our lifestyle is chosen, that we're deviants, that with the right counseling, all will be well. Keep it. You've caused enough harm to innocent people who are as wonderfully made as you are. Stop judging and open your heart to the divine spirit within you. We all have it. Don't you know that yet? But understand this too. We don't hate you as you hate us. No, for we were born to love. We want you to accept us, to become our friends, that we can share earth's goodness with you and understand our shared life in the divine life, that we can all grow in grace, in wisdom, in gratitude. That's my prayer from this conference to you. Yesterday, one of our speakers recounted meeting someone who had unexpectedly validated him. But that, you see, is how the Spirit works. We see God's light in the eyes of a child. We find God's life in the voice of a friend. We touch divine presence in the hand of a stranger. We're guided into all truth through the love in our hearts. Spirit never stops speaking to us. We don't have to treat book texts like handcuffs to hear her voice. And a theme of mine corroborated yesterday by our compañeros from India and the Philippines. It's time we too, here in the Caribbean, became a faith group where all are accepted. It's time we became congregations in a church which is ours, that our voice for Jesus will resonate with all who will hear us. Call it the inclusive church, if you will, or the Rainbow Bridge Church, or the United Church of Jesus in the Caribbean. Call it as you will. But it's time here in the Caribbean. What could be finer? Two thoughts struck me, both during the conference yesterday and in the evening. The first arose from something that Dr. Edward Green said, that's to say the Chancellor of the University of Guyana, not the Vice Chancellor. I do apologize to him. I called him Vice Chancellor a couple of times. I suppose it was habit, so forgive me. He mentioned Mother Teresa. And as he did so, I had a vision of the Virgin Mary standing above a rainbow. Call her our mother, untie her of knots, if you will. And she will lead us. She will stand with us. Like any mother, hear me, like any mother, she will never let us down and will always support us. Her bosom will always be there for us to lean on. And the second thing, looking back at it on the Facebook page, I noticed that whenever someone said something particularly important or significant or loving, a cock crowed. You may have heard during these 3 days the sound of fowl. They're my yard fowl, they're my babies. But every time someone said something very special, a cock crowed. Well, today we're in Africa, my other homeland, and then the global north. The pattern is going to be exactly the same. There'll be one keynote speaker, and then a little interjection from our friends at the Canadian High Commission, and then 2 panels of speakers. Each speaker will speak for roughly 9 minutes. Don't worry if you hear a gong during their presentations. It's just a little reminder. Each panel will be followed by a question and answer sessions. We had some questions yesterday, which was wonderful, so thank you for that. Remember to keep your questions short because they will be moderated. There'll be a 10-minute coffee break after the first question and answer sessions. You can leave your questions, I think, either on the Zoom webinar or on the Facebook page. Well, it gives me very great pleasure to welcome our keynote speaker today. That's the Reverend Alan Boyzak, who is the Professor of Black Liberation Theology and Ethics at the University of Pretoria. Reverend Boyzak, you're very, very welcome indeed.